Hey, this is C&D Channel. I'm Chris. This is MMA for you. I'm going to be doing my TUF Nations Finale post-fight analysis. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good card. I thought it was solid, actually. Some pretty cool finishes from Jimmo, Nunes, Poirier. Bonuses. You got Dustin Poirier and Akira Corsani got Fight of the Night. And Nunes, KJ Nunes and Ryan Jimmo got Performance of the Night bonuses. My picks weren't too bad, 8 out of 13. Didn't really do great on the main card. Did good on the undercard though, or the prelims. Yeah, let's just get started actually. Tim Kennedy beat Michael Bisping by unanimous decision. Man, this was a great win for Kennedy. I was really surprised by what he was able to do to Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping historically has shown to be hard to take down and hard to keep down. Kennedy managed to not just take him down, but keep him down and even mount him at times. To Bisping's credit, there are some parts of the fight where he showed really good takedown defense. But the other rounds, Kennedy managed to get takedowns. And sometime around, the fourth, he was even getting some overhand rights on Michael Bisping as well. Something I said in the predictions, that Bisping just cannot defend overhand rights really well. I think this also speaks about Bisping as far as being a potential title challenger. I mean, the fact of the matter is he always loses the fight that ends up that's like a number 1 contender fight, whether it's against lost against Henderson, Vitor Belfort, wasn't a contender. Oh, Chael Sonnen, and then he lost Rashad Evans and Vanderlei. It's just, I think he's a very solid fighter, but sometimes he can be a little too solid, And that's the case with Michael Bisping. A lot of guys that can outstrike Bisping end up doing so. He has really good takedown defense. If Bisping can impose his game and outwork his opponent, he can generally do that to the mid-level of the division. And this goes to show Tim Kennedy is now a top fighter because of this win, really. But yeah, as far as who Kennedy gets next, I'm thinking the winner of Munoz versus Mousasi. Bisping, the loser of Rockhold versus Boach. Yep, next fight after that, Patrick Cote beat Kyle Noak by unanimous decision. Real grinding victory for Patrick Cote. I mean, Kyle Noak showed... and I totally forgot about this about Kyle Noak. Besides having to lay off, He's notoriously had some pretty bad takedown defense. This fight was no exception. I remember back even in The Ultimate Fighter, I forgot the name of the guy, but he won by taking him down over and over again, really. And his ability to get back to his feet, it just isn't there, The thing with Cote, both these guys, I'm just gonna say it. If they even keep Kyle Noak, because I think he's on a losing streak now. They probably will, Australian fighter. He had some, coach of the Ultimate Fighter. So I think they'll keep him, but I don't say this for a lot of guys, just more mid to lower tier guys in the division. There's really no one guy I can say that this guy needs to fight, especially if they're new guys or mid-tier guys, The other ones with Cote, I don't know how far he's gonna get. I mean, he just seems like a mid-tier gatekeeper at best, to be honest with you. Next fight after that, Elias Theodorou beat Sheldon Westcott by TKO in the second round. Westcott, man, he came in early and aggressive and gassed early and badly. I picked this one wrong. You know, Elias, this guy's ceiling's interesting because he's pretty big for the weight class. He's got some good wrestling, grappling. His stand-up looks to be improving, I believe he was the guy that said "Hi, Mom" in the middle of ground and pound. That takes some bravado to do, and he's undefeated. I'm gonna keep an eye out for Elias Theodorou from here on out. He looks like a pretty decent prospect. I wouldn't say he's like a blue chip guy, but relatively well-rounded skills. He should just fight more mid to lower tier of the division. Same with Sheldon Westcott. Just more mid to lower tier of the division. Next fight, that Chad LaPriest beat Olivier Aben-Messer by split decision. Don't know how that was a split decision. I thought that was a pretty clear 29-28 for Chad LaPriest. Maybe even 30-27, Don't know how you can give 2 rounds to Aben-Messer. And the fact of the matter is, Aben-Messer he's just too inexperienced. If you can't get the clinch, he had nothing. And the problem is, I think he's cutting to lightweight after this or something like that. You can't go about fighting in the UFC in a division like in stacked divisions with really bad striking. It just wasn't there, to be perfectly honest with you. Chad LaPriest, on the other end, looks good, solid takedown defense, good striker. I don't really know much about his ceiling, but look decent enough. Just more lower to mid-tier guys in the division for these two. The next fight after that, Dustin Poirier beat Akira Kurosawa by TKO in the second round. The thing that's too bad with this fight is that Dustin Poirier showed better defense against Eric Koch. And in this fight, his defense was just terrible. And that was a criticism I was giving Dustin Poirier for a long time, that his defense is really bad. He gets hit clean a lot. So this guy's always moving forward, high pressure, but not the most defensively sound about it. He's just in your face, but he's not moving his head, all the time. Nonetheless, it's good stay busy one for Dustin Poirier, but he needs to fight someone higher up. I'm thinking Ricardo Lamas next, or the winner of Swanson versus Stevens. I gotta give Akira Kurosawa his due. I didn't think this fight would be that competitive. I actually said in the predictions, and it was. I just don't know. But the thing with Akira Kurosawa, though, is despite that, I still think that he's still going to be pretty much a mid-level talent throughout his UFC tenure, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't see... I see a relatively low ceiling for Kurosawa. I think he's already like 31. Dustin Poirier, though, top 10 guy, should be fighting more top 10 fighters. Okay, on to the prelims. It's on Fox Sports 1. KJ Noons knocked out Sam Stout in 30 seconds. This is it was a bit comical seeing Sam Stout guillotine the ref after he got knocked out, and the ref tapped, actually. What can you say? Sam Stout, this guy has been stuck in the mid-tier purgatory in the UFC forever. The guy will beat a couple lower to mid-tier guys. He'll lose to mid-tier guys as well. He used to have this granite chin, and I think, this guy's been through some wars. He's been hit hard, too. It really wasn't, and he's been around the block for a while. It was just a matter of time for him to honestly get knocked out, especially with his style, where he throws a lackadaisical 1-2 sometimes. KJ Noons, good offensive boxer, bad defensive boxer. Showed a nice knockout here. I honestly questioned his UFC staying ability, but he's actually on a 2-fight winning streak now. Had a good fight with Soteropoulos last time out. Knocked out Sam Stout. You know, he's a fun action fighter. He now has a place in the UFC as a fun mid-level action fighter. With that said, I think Noon should probably get a guy like Abel Trujillo next, or maybe the winner of Varner versus Krause next. Maybe Sam Stout can get the loser of Varner versus Krause or something like that. Next round, that Sarah Kaufman beat Leslie Smith by unanimous decision. It really showed that Leslie Smith took this fight on short notice. She wasn't as competitive like she was the first time they fought. Kaufman was hitting a lot of clean strikes and knees. Kaufman doesn't have the power to really knock her opponents out. Even though early in her career she was not getting like TKO victories, and she has a slam victory over Roxanne Modafferi. One of her problems though is that she's so square when she punches. You know, she can't generate power from your hips when you're so square. But with that said, she has good takedown defense and a good sprawl because she's so square. So it kind of evens out. She's high volume, looked good here. Looked really good here actually. I think the next fight should be the winner of Tate versus Carmouche next. Those would be rematches, but they're appropriate rematches at this time, as all three of those female fighters have lost relatively recently to Ronda Rousey. Leslie Smith, after a full training camp, I mean, there's a lot of fun fights for her. You can give her the loser of Jessamine Duke versus Betch Coria. Who else? I know she's coming off a win, but Jessica Andrade versus Leslie Smith wouldn't be too bad. Would be a lot of fun actually. So there's a lot of good fights for Leslie Smith in the UFC. Next fight after that, Ryan Jimmo beat Sean O'Connell by knockout in the first round. I say this about Ryan Jimmo all the time, and it always holds true. When this guy lets his hands go and his feet go, he's very accurate and he hits hard. He's a good striker. He has that karate background, which adds to his accuracy. And he's not a bad striker. The only problem is he likes to grind against. He likes to get a clinch, grind against a cage, but the problem is he doesn't have great offense from the clinch, so he just kind of ends up holding his opponent there. With that said, good one for Jimmo. Sean O'Connell, I think he took the fight on short notice too, and he actually performed pretty well considering who he's fighting on short notice. So, just more lower to mid-tier guys for Sean O'Connell. With Jimmo, maybe like Fabio Maldonado next, OSP, or like Rafael Feijão next. Next fight that, George Root beat Dustin Kimura by unanimous decision. Now what can I say about Root? He's just one of those guys. He'll beat some mid-tier guys and a couple prospects even, and he'll lose to mid-level guys and some of the higher level guys. He can't seem to get over that hump as well. There's really not much I can say. Dustin Kimura just could not really get the takedowns, get his game going. I hate to say that the size differential played a factor, but I kind of think it did. Roof's huge for weight class. I mean, he looked big compared to Kimura as well. But the thing with Rube, he's solid. He's a solid fighter, good, I guess, gatekeeper type of the division. Dustin Kimura just needs more. He just needs more experience, really. Just more lower to mid tier guys in the division for these two. Next fight after that, Mark Bocek beat Mike De La Torre by a split decision. I would have thought that this fight would be pretty unanimous for Bocek, but it was a lot closer than I thought it'd be. Bochek's a pretty tough out, especially for a first fight in the UFC, so no shame in losing to him. Both these guys, just more lower to mid-tier guys in the division. I think Bochek plays a good role of gatekeeper to prospects at this point, you know. He can, I guess he can still be that gatekeeper to the top 10, still. There's really not much to say about these next fights. Nordine Talib beat Vic Rujic by unanimous decision. Man, they give a lot of chances to Nordine Talib for some reason. He was on Ultimate Fighter Nations. He tried out for the latest season of The Ultimate Fighter, the Penn versus Edgar season, which is what, 19? Something like that, 20, I forgot. And now he got a win in the UFC. Good for him. Both these guys are more lower to mid-tier guys of the division. I actually didn't see the Richard Walsh versus Chris Indich fight. I heard it wasn't even that great. More lower to mid-tier guys of the division. I heard Indich didn't look that great. I don't even know if he has much staying power in the UFC. And finally, I missed this fight too. Mitch Gagnon beat Tim Gorman by unanimous decision. I like Gagnon, actually. Just more lower to mid-tier guys of the division for these guys. Okay, that's pretty much it for my Ultimate Fighter Nations Finale post-fight analysis. If you have any comments, just leave them below. That's it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.